Alright. So here we go. Getting ready to finish up this trial. I just want to give a quick shout out to Twitch to actually giving us additional affiliate emotes. I mean, it's a fucking band-aid compared to what they really should be doing, but you know what? It is what it is. I'm also want to give a shout out to all the Cowboy Bebop fans. Y'all don't deserve that live action. You don't. And especially to all the Ed fans out there, just to remind you that Ed is not white. Ed is not white. And shout out to the injustice that is the American system. Rather, not injustice, because why would it be injustice if it's acting the way it really should have? Right? So in any case, go ahead and vibe in this chat. We're just gonna vibe and have a good time. Anybody who brings up that bullshit, I'm gonna block your ass. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm tired. You know, this is a safe spot for people of color, LGBT, and you know, people who are not pieces of shit. So if you're a piece of shit and you just want to say some shit, just enjoy the block. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. So anyways, last time we actually started the trial for our friend Natsume, and we finally brought up the possibility that somebody may have been able to go inside and grab one of the burned books. But of course, they just have to be extra racist and all that. So I really just want to get this case over with. And all that. So let's go ahead and get started. But other than that, hopefully you guys are doing fine. Just a reminder that I am letting you guys know that I do have a book coming out, a short story. If you don't want to see that, and I'm just gonna go ahead and spam all of the emotes that you have that's available in a if you're able to sub today. That's totally cool. Hey Ash, welcome. Now you get to use Tingle Nation. Twitch finally gave us a band-aid for all the bullshit they've been doing. Hopefully you're doing good. Ooh, yeah, I gotta get started anyway. I have considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury. Essay giving you brain rot, but you are still chugging along. Make sure you take breaks in between. I know it's tough right now, but you got this, Queen. You know I support you. And I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman? We are, my lord. Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime. I wish they could just say why this motherfucker's guilty, but you know, it's an Ace Attorney game. It wouldn't be that simple if it was like that, you know. The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his. Uh-huh. If there was some normal alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to the crime if the window was closed, can it? Well, if the window was closed, then wouldn't they have theoretically passed out from the smoke? Dearie me, it was only a little book. Hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit. I mean, a fire still happened in your house. Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I will be in a tiny bit of trouble. Come to think of it, we had a fire a while ago. It gave me sneezes. Okay, Osan. Yes, considering the more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems. Barely. That's barely even argument. Those are just more like statements. With one notable exception, of course. My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover, no one else was even at the scene to commit the crime. Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem if the eyewitnesses were correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. But it's not. It's obviously not that easy. What's the point of even having a defendant if you can't defend yourself from bullshit accusations like this? I fail to see how it could be argued any other way. That means I'm afraid that during this summation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts. But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here? Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman and how? Those two details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted. And here I was thinking this might be hard. But Mr. Naruto, you have to do it. Otherwise, this really will be where the trial ends. No pressure then. Yeah, right? There's never any pressure on us. That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you are prepared, counsel? Oh, yes, my lord. All right, Minosuke. Focus your mind now. Clearly, the key to this summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid. Or should I say Mrs. Gerdeb? We have a book that disappeared from the Gerdeb's house on the evening of the incident, and the 4th book found in the victim's hand. There must be a way to link the two. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far. Whatever it takes. Don't forget to keep an eye on Mrs. Gerdeb and how she reacts, even to the things other people say. Alright, here we go. Well, that's what you're trying to tell me happened, guy. Like, okay, whatever. There was some novel alternative to explain how the victim was stabbed. Okay. That's I think that's a really stupid statement, because that would basically mean that, you know, whatchamacallit, that they were vibing while there was a fire, and fire at any capacity, unless it's in like in a fireplace, obviously, they would have passed out from the smoke immediately. So it wouldn't, I mean, logically, yeah, you would open this up. You would open up the door, right? I'm gonna save. I want to press on this man, and if I'm wrong about this, I mean, fine, whatever. But I want to understand this guy's logic here. Like, even if there was a fire. Like, we've established there was a fire. So why wouldn't they open it up?
Hold it!
But what about the possibility that the window was open? What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been. Why? This man is an idiot! How can he be so sure? Prosecutor fellow over there said it earlier, didn't he? Winters in London are no joke. You don't want to invite that sort of cold indoors. So it's too cold. Oh my god. So no, that window wasn't open. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm, see? But there was a fire in the house. But you couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, could you? It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it. Then what's the point of even having windows, huh? Counsel, you will kindly refrain from childish bickering. Sorry. Somehow, I need to show that there's an undeniable possibility that the window was open. But that doesn't make sense. Like, we've established there was a fire, so why wouldn't you open a damn window when the fucking shit is ablaze? Because this young man isn't gonna budge otherwise. This young man is an idiot. I don't understand. Oh my god. Okay, well... Hold it! Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case? Sorry? What's that? You have to speak up, lad. Could you tell us more about that fire? It was last winter. My grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on top indeed. What a sight to behold it was. You put candles on a cake? What? Was it some kind of devil worship? Why do you have... what? Oh, yeah. Of course not. It was an angel cake. To celebrate my birthday, obviously. It seems that there's a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyway, I mustered all of my puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown them wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but the candles went flying all over the room. The furniture caught and everything went up. The whole place filled with smoke. So what, did you just like leave the window closed like a fucking idiot? Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. Okay. Sure. And by the seasons, I presume you mean a cold. But how do you catch a cold from a fire? What a fiasco it was. The grandchildren, bless them, threw water over me as they tried to put out the flames. Man, this man has been through it all. He gave himself a recently gave himself a concussion, and then he got his ass set on a blaze. Hello? But then, because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, we had to open all the windows to clear it. The windows. The mighty winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave, it did. I caught a terrible cold from it. It put me in hospital for a while. I won't forget that birthday in a hurry. Your luck is really bad. I knew it was devil worship all along. But something about this old man's story is playing in my mind for some reason. Yeah, because... yeah, right? How is he alive? We need to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsume, could have attacked the young woman on the street. As well as he or she could have done it. Yes, but once again, the jurors' statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary. I think you're going to need to pit them against each other to force them to accept an alternative explanation. Yes. I don't necessarily need to find contradictions between their assertions. Just a connection. Okay, so obviously, now that we got that information from the grandpa, we already know what we have to do. Alright, I'll see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for a strike! That's the spirit. Okay, so obviously we know who we need to pit against because this dumbass motherfucker apparently believes that you can have fires with the windows closed and still not.
Objection!
These two juror statements clearly contradict one another. They do? How exactly, counsel? Don't point at me again. I told you it wasn't me. What's that you say? Speak up, lad. Speak up. Juror number 3. Do you see? Oh, me? See what, sir? Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter. Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. So, there you go, you dumbass! I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from a fire, then you'd be mad not to open the... Oh! Exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Gerardip household, and Mr. Gerardip had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke. Oh, my hat! Oh. She's freaking out, I think. Therefore, to clear the smoke, either Mr. Gerardip or his wife almost certainly opened the window. That you cannot deny, which would be in no way out of the ordinary. No, I suppose it wouldn't. When you get to my age, you learn a thing or two, you know, and I can tell you. You'd have to be a prize idiot not to open the window if there was a fire, eh? Yes, of course. I think I need to reconsider my statement. Yes, please do. That's a step in the right direction, I think. The window could have been open when the woman was throwing books. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Window house fires are dire. You have to open windows to clear the smoke. That's when the chill gets you, see? When you were discussing the window before, I feel a certain member of the jury reacted in a rather unusual way. Yes, I thought I might have seen something like that out of the corner of my eye. It could have been worth pursuing. Yes, pursue jurors to catch them off guard. That's the secret. We need to use every trick at our disposal here, so let's see what we can do. Okay, so how do I get back to that then? I'm gonna save. Fuck. I don't know how to get back there. Do I pit them against each other again? I guess. Good thing I saved. Those two statements clearly contradict. Nope. God damn it. I'm sorry, but as foreman of the jury, I have to object. That's complete nonsense. What? I'm a banker, don't forget. An educated. Yeah, let me just reload. How the fuck am I supposed to get back? Fuck, did I fuck up? Did I lock myself out?
Hold it!
Okay, let me at least press. At the point where the victim was attacked on Briar Road, we know that there was a small house fire in the Gerardip household in the opposite end of the street. Well, yes, it certainly seems that way. Oh no, the kind of the smoke. I imagine they would have had the windows open in spite of the code. Okay, so now I can go. Alright, bitch.
Excuse me.
Juror number 4. Do you have something to say about that? Mrs. Gerardip. Oh, dearie me. What is the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am? Well, you are. So explain yourself. It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now. No one gives a shit. What is it? When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window? What? I beg your pardon? What are you insinuating? The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window. And what if we did? That's pretty impertinent. I mean, or I shouldn't say. Why am I saying impertinent? I'm trying to say it's important. Oh boy, oh boy. Sorry, I just. Oh, all right then. Yes, you're right. Like, why is that that's such a weird thing to deny? I mean, we've already established that you did all that. You already did all that for whatchamacallit. This game. That's all I can say is this game. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continued to give him a justly deserved book battering. Even though your house was on fire? Oh, you never stopped drawing until the anger subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do so otherwise. Girl, go to therapy. For real, or get a hobby. Get a real hobby. Of course, I should have realized. That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruto. You managed to establish that the window was open. We simply must have added that to Mr. Gerardev's formal statement. Okay. Now you mention it, yes, the window was open at the time. I'd clean forgotten, but it's true. Oh boy. Whoa. Maybe. Well, if he.
Hold it!
You just want to get this over with? How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future is at stake here. We'll tell him and me both then, like I said before. What? I told you already. I'm a day laborer, aren't I? If I don't bring home some readies with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning. In the Thames, goddamn. What? You heard me. My missus isn't one to mess about, you know. She can be fierce, believe you me. Another shining example of marital bliss, then. A situation like this cropped up the other day. It was, do you know, it's funny, but I can't quite remember. Sorry? It was too frightening, that's the thing. I must have blocked it out. Helpful. I wonder if Mr. B will ever be dragged into the Thames by a scarf. Don't even go there, Mrs. Sato. There must be someone the jog is remembering about this. The houses are fire. I wish the backing does actually work. Okay, hold on. I think I missed some new dialogue. So the window was open when the Gerardevs were arguing that day. Yes, Mr. Gerardev finally admitted to it, which is a very significant victory for the defense. I feel like the fog is starting to clear and an alternative explanation to this case is starting to show itself. Accused left behind, blah blah blah. No, you mentioned it, yes.
Hold it!
Okay, so what happened? The fourth book found that the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garrett told us he had been reading. Well, I really couldn't say. I don't know why you're denying this. Like, just... On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading? I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. And now you've come to mention it, yes. He was rather enjoying reading it, you're right. Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset? Because I quoted you, insolent little man. I didn't remember. I guess, but knowing that there was a fire around that vicinity, around that time, would have been very pertinent to the damn case, lady. The lady really fucking annoys the shit out of me. At times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on as well, you know? I really don't. I barely noticed I was doing the book, much less the title of it. Right. Totally understandable. I mean, you can't waste time deciding what to use next, can you? When you feel the way I did, you don't care what it is. You just want to smash it into his face. I mean, valid, but at the same time, no. You see where violence can lead to, Mrs. Otto? I'm disheartened to think you might believe me capable of such behavior. I mean, you throw him a lot. Oh. Yeah. My coat. Anyway, I have a feeling I might have noticed someone reacting a little strangely to Mrs. Garrett's remarks just now. Perhaps I missed something while I was preoccupied. Okay, let me see if I can actually go back. Why? Why? I'm clicking on... Oh my god. This is so stupid. Okay, whatever.
Hold it!
Okay, let me go do this part again. Why is she like hitting people? This lady's out of control.
Oh boy.
Okay, so this motherfucker noticed something.
Excuse me.
What is it? What is it, juror number 5? You know something? I remembered what it was. That memory I blocked out. Oh, how convenient. Ah. It was listening to what this granny was saying. Brought it all flooding back. Uh-oh, why'd you call her? Why would you say that like next to her? Come on, guy. Who are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Mrs. Garrett, or the maid, I'll have you know. The man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's so used to being hit all the time. Do we have a domestic abuse situation? I hate it when they... Please don't make light of this because it's not funny in the fucking least. I hate this. This is... It was about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home after work, like... I put my hand in my pocket for the wages I had just earned that day, and I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out. Oh dear, what a disaster. You haven't had half of it, boy. Oh? The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight, I've lost a day's wages, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear. Stuck into the wall next to me, it did, about an inch deep. Y'all invented, the English invented divorce. Please, divorce, holy shit. No words, just terror. I mean, for real though, like, hello? Like, I'm really getting, like, these kind of, and I'm putting this behind several quotes. Jokes are really old. Like, haha, boomer humor, they hate their spouses and shit, and they do shit like this, haha, whatever, but this is really bad. Like, it's not funny. I could smell it then, you know, that god-awful stench of the Thames. I was sure I was going to end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I could tell you. But then, of course, I can imagine how bad it was back then, you know. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it? I'll never use the word lightly again. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it. Ha ha ha. Women, am I right, fellas? So exhausting. Holy shit. Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined. I mean, I don't. Me, the player, don't, and I know chat doesn't. But this shit is so, like, terrible. Like, it's exhausting is all I could say. It's all about being exhausted right now. No, I wasn't thinking that. Throwing household objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. That's one way of putting it, I guess. At least attack with honor, using a bow or the like. Okay, Sasato. Okay, writers of this game. What? Attack? Where are you gonna attack? Never mind. Anyway, this man's words, as sexist as hell, could be rather significant, I think. Alright, we'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later, if I dare. A woman in a rage will hurl almost anything at you. The kitchen knife really brought that home to me. I'm not a fan of that. Like, I'm really not a fan. I really don't like that at all. But obviously, these two are gonna have different onions.
Objection!
These two statements clearly contradict each other.
Hold it!
Oh, fuck. Oops, I think I went a little ahead. Don't forget, I'm an educated man. There's no contradiction as far as I can see. Quite so, Mr. Foreman. Well, I didn't save. God damn it, chat. I fucked up. I think I hit it a little too soon. Oops. I will not permit a whimsical attack against good members of the jury council. Oh, but they could take pot shots at us. Okay, whatever. There's nothing whimsical about it. It's very important to listen carefully to every juror, Mr. Naruhodo. Then you can decide where the contradictions really lie, if there are any. Let's save it again. I don't know.
Hold it!
The fourth book is found in the scene. Okay. Now you come to mention it, yes. Okay, so I read that part already. Book. What's just the title of it? Right, totally understandable. I mean, you can't waste time deciding what to use next, can you? When you feel the way I did, you don't care what it is, you just want to smash it into his face. You see where the violence could lead to? Yeah. No! Ugh. Well, the other guy did bring up the fact that women be women, am I right? And threw shit at her. Trying to think. Maybe. No.
Objection!
Possibly? Honestly, that would be too fucking stupid to do. Those two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection. Good grief, you mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once. Juror number 2, do you think perhaps that this could be one such novel alternative? Oh my, whatever do you mean? An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back. If this is true, and if this is the route that we're gonna go, this is really fucking stupid. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm thinking. That would be way too fucking. Like, that would be stupid beyond Ace Attorney logic. I don't even know. Cause the way the guy was, again, he was like, "Women, am I right, fellas? Ho ho!" And it's like, I don't know about that, Chief. That is the dumbest thing I've ever... Yeah, but I'm curious. I mean, we have yet to get a penalty for it, so we'll see. What are you talking about? We've demonstrated that the 4th book, The Lion's Pride, was found at the scene of the crime. Originated in Mr. Gerardip's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book could have found its way from the Gerardip household to the street below. What's that now? After all, Mrs. Gerardip could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. I really hope this isn't where they're going. I am begging. Get ready to use your WTF God emotes. Or gun. Maybe gun. Maybe the gun. Because that's what I'm feeling, either both Kyrie or Pearl right now. I'm begging you, please don't do this. Please do not go to this route. Do not. Mr. Gerardip could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4? What are you insinuating now? You little beanpole? Beanpole? Hello? I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of this book came to light, I'm begging my theory that somebody actually just came in and just stole all that shit. I mean, the book's saying, okay, the route thing, I'm still like on the fence about, because I still think that he could have gone the other way. I definitely believe that, and the other guy just happens to have. It just happens to be the same books. They're older books. They're older literature books. These people are the way they are. And this is all a setup, because they obviously have racism in their heart. It would not, I mean, if they really want to be, like, as far as, like, well, he's obviously innocent, they would make the foreigner look bad. I am begging that theory. I would rather have that theory than anything else. I want that theory. I'm still leaning on that heavily. And I'm probably pressing even harder because of it. I'm beginning to think that perhaps she's had a feeling this might be what's happened. Now you listen here, you Eastern Gala. As the foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer. You're not gonna get it from him. Ha! You give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house. But what? What was it? I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't had any real evidence to back it up. But I am certain that at the very least this warrants further investigation. Alright, Mr. Foreman, I'll try to explain the defense's theory. Please, use my game theory, I am begging you. The other object that was found this way is... Oh god, please, no. The other object that was found this way from the Garadip house... No! But there's only one other object! No! Oh my god. No, I'm saving just in case. I don't want to be... Oh, I am begging for this not to be right. I am begging for this not to be right. If it is what I think it is, I am gonna... I don't know, man. I don't know. Because the only other object besides the books, and we don't have the books, is this. I'm not like... I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this, chat. I don't like this, chat. I don't like this, chat. I'm begging somebody else to have done this. And it's just a shitty coincidence.
Take that!
Oh god, no. I'm looking through my fingers. Okay, he's just dots. Juror number 4. Mrs. Garadip. What now? I must apologize in advance for this. God, what are you doing? Please. Yeah, the music stopped. It's not a good sign. I don't like this. I don't like this, chat. I don't like this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before? Good lord, Counsel. What on earth are you doing? I am begging you, please let this be someone else. The music. Y'all, the music. That's the weapon that was launched into the victim's back, man. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garadip were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Garadip was hurling anything she could at her husband, who could have been backed up against the window. A window that had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which book sailed to land at the crime scene. You can't seriously believe that. The book was found in the victim's grasp. Are you saying that it flew out of the window and across the street to land neatly in her hand? I really fucking hope not. No. That's not where no. I am in the belief. And I'm getting stronger each moment. This is a setup. This has to be a setup. I am begging for this to be a setup. It is too stupid not to be a setup. And foreigners being set up all the time is not new. And if they're really like I mentioned before in another stream, if they really, they're trying to go for this almost realistic look at how racism impacts, well, guess what? That's also part of the reality too, that they did shit like that. That foreigners were set up like this. And still are, in case people forget. Or want to forget. Certain people want to forget. I know not y'all. Y'all are good. I am begging for a setup plot. Huh? Even my missus has got aim like that. women. Am I right, fellows? Yes, I admit. There are many details yet we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why we must not allow this trial to end. Not right now. Am I? Oh! Mrs. Garrett, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not? Tell the truth, ma'am. Ma'am? Ew! Oh! Oh gosh, you got the goddamn vapor. I hate... please, I am... My lord! I wish to change my decision! I'm a woman of my word, after all. Thank you, madam. Yes, I agree. They agree? What? Okay, I hope they agreed to the fact that this could be a set. Ash got the gun. No, Ash. This is gonna be all leading to a setup. This is all gonna be leading up to a setup. Mr. Natsume was set up. This is no. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions. Mr. Foreman! I'd have to agree. Not that I think the granny did it, mind. I can excuse cross-examining a parrot, but this is, if they're trying to imply what I think they're implying, I'm not having it. They want so badly to have a commentary on how Japanese people were treated by the English. They can have that. And they can have that by having somebody set Mr. Natsume up. That would have been a good follow. That would be a good follow-up, right? 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 Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either. All together now, ladies and gents. Why isn't Grandpa... This is so stupid. I am begging this to be a setup. We did it. Because it's a setup. It has to be a setup. It's too easy not to be a setup. Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo. So, as a result of the defense's summation examination, a number of juror leanings have changed. The two jurors called guilty against 4 now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided, and this trial shall continue. Congrats to us. Now we just gotta prove who set him up. It has to be a setup. It absolutely has to be a setup. That is too stupid otherwise. Now then, Lord Van Seeks, how does the prosecution wish to proceed? This trial is rapidly descending into a farce. Rapidly descending, huh? I wish I was optimistic like you, Zeeks. But then again, they don't know. They don't know that this man's descendant is going to be fucking, what's it called? I'm sorry. As if it already has it. Like, I'm sorry. I just have to shut my brain down for a second because it's so stupid. I am begging. I am on my hands and knees, begging. They want their races. They want their commentary on racism towards Japanese people. So why wouldn't this be a setup? Why wouldn't this be a setup? Right? You see where I'm going with this? Because that would make sense. Like usually in Phoenix Wright cases, there's some point to it all. There's actually, obviously there's a point to the story, however convoluted it can be. Like in that case with the parrot, the whole thing was that, spoilers, I guess, for the first game if you haven't played it or watched my Let's Play or whatever. The whole point of that was that Yanni Yogi was unfairly, not only was he like not believed, yes, he had gotten off with a not guilty verdict, but his life was fucking ruined because the defense lawyer was more concerned about the win than about him and then believing in him as a client. And that's what Feeney had to do. He believed in Edgeworth with his unnecessary feelings, of course, and he believed in him so much that he also made sure that Edgeworth's life, well, his reputation's gone to shit because of Von Karma and all that, and it was already in shambles. But there was a point, and they drove home with that. I am begging this case to be just that. You know what's funny? You've been playing Justice for All, and they finished the circus case, and we're watching that and watching, that's what I'm feeling like. It's the same level of buffoonery. And it really is. Because the thing about, and I think that the problem with the turnabout circus, I forgot the name of that, but you know, the circus one. I think the point that one was trying to say was that the circus master was trying so hard to protect his little girl that he essentially took on her crimes. And you know, you really shouldn't do that. You should take responsibility. But no one in the end really took responsibility except for Acro. That case was a little muddled, but it was, I mean, for as buffoonery and ridiculous as that is, there was still a point to it. It was very weak. It was a weak point, but it was a point. This game, or at least this case, wants so desperately, and they keep mentioning it, and I'll keep saying it over and over and over, until we figure out who set Mr. Natsume up, because there's just no way. There's just no way they're implying what I think they're fucking implying. Because they made it a point for Natsume that one, they automatically thought he was guilty because he's Japanese. They already have their racism bullshit going on. Two, Natsume made it a point to tell us that they were like, oh, you know, we're actually not going to get a translator for you. Or, yeah, the translator for you. And he doesn't know what's going on. And thanks to Renosuke, he comes in. He is that link between the English government and his compatriot. So why not go all the way and have someone set up? I'm in denial about this, chat. I'm in denial that someone said that he is set up. Because if they're implying what I think they're implying, that this is even weaker than Turnabout Circus. You know, this is weaker than that. If they're basically saying that in the midst of wacky domestic violence disputes, this woman was stabbed in this incident. I'm not a fan of that. I am begging that is not the case. I am hoping that it's not the case. And if it is, I'll know what to do, man. Like a corked wine, the first few sips are bitter enough. Ah, fuck, mate, I threw me a knife out the ballet window and stabbed the lass. Right? But what follows is so repugnant, it's good for nothing save the gutter. God, he's big sexy. Let me just play the barking dog. Okay, but you guys say at least this song fucking slaps. Fuck it, no dog barking. Oh no. If I may, Lord Van Steeks, the defense had just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. It's a setup. It's a setup. It's a setup. What about that weird motherfucker we saw outside the door? That door, like, there's like, what's the point of having this man if he's just not gonna? It's a waste of time. It's a waste of a sprite. Unless I don't know, man. Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? defense's argument is a joke to it, I barely know how to respond. But let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourselves better with the relative positions of those places being discussed. What do you mean by that? What's his angle this time? It should be already more than apparent that between the crime scene and the Garrett household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. Which means that the distance from the Garrett's house to the scene is some... yes, 15 yards. Well, let me see. 15 yards. That's around 14 meters. I don't know measurements. I'm terrible at that shit. 14 meters? Oh, that's a little farther than I imagined. So it's a setup. It has to be a setup. And, as you ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly noted as having fortunate significance, the fourth book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, the smoldering book, wantonly hurled by the lady of the house, traveled some 15 yards to land on the opposite end of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Is that your final conclusion, my learned? And is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? That's 45 feet for us silly Americans. Like I said, it doesn't matter how... You can tell me that shit is like 6 foot, couple inches, or whatever. My dumbass brain can't process it. I guess, like... I would actually need to see, like, the actual distance. How far that is. So I'm just gonna take everybody's word here, because I don't know shit. I'll fully admit it. I'm terrible. Geometry is my worst, one of my worst maths. I can't. I hate measurements so much. I can't process how long that shit is. Clearly, Mrs. Garrett shot the knife out of that cannon. I guess she must have. That's quite a bit of force, like... No! Ash, no, it's a setup. It has to be a setup. It's a setup! It has to be a setup. I'm gonna get my gun. It's a setup. It's a setup. It has to be a setup. The jackknife followed a near identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back. This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Yeah, that too, but that's not the point of her freaking out about. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. I mean, he's not wrong. It's a setup. It's a setup. Like, you're doing this whole, like, you know, people are fucking racist, and that's bad. There's nothing I can say to that. That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice. And Susato. Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he? Susato, this is not the time. Maybe let's pick our battles here. Exactly. I know she's like, how old is Susato-san again? Why do you freeze like that? What? So she's 16. She's 16, y'all. Okay. My lord, might I be allowed to speak? As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense. Yes, go ahead. Prosecution may consider the idea of fantasy, but what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. And as such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end, juror number 4, Mrs. Joan Garrett, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination. I mean, as dumb as it is, she is right. We still need to examine this shit. Like, cross-examine this shit. State's alive? A cross-examination of a juror? Order! 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 Well, this is highly irregular. It is unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand. Really? I find that hard to believe.
Objection!
He really just threw that? An errand unnecessary. Lord Van Zeeks? There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend's processual theory has any truth to it, then both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown to the sky before this couple's eyes. But it was foggy, so they couldn't tell. If that is true, I swear to God, it better be a setup. I hate this. Why? And we must assume they would be able to testify accordingly. What say you, witnesses? Yes, sir. Constable Rolly Beat reporting for duty, sir. Well, good morning, officer. Sorry for dozing until now, sir. I haven't slept for a month on account of a villain who's appeared on my beat, sir. A villain? Oh, you're so heroic, these London bobbies. Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more. Oh, Rolly, my hero, you make me swoon. Very well, I hereby rejected defense requests. Oh. And order the witness in the stand to testify again. Slate forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of events. Yes, sir? Ugh, I'm tired of him. I'm so tired of him. This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garden. Believe me, a London Bobby is good for his word. Sure. You see, sir, the windows on the top floor of the Garden houses are top-hinged casements. Obviously, if anything had been thrown out the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go and fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for 1 moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir. Oh. Okay, so this is leading more credence to the belief that this could be a setup. Well, this is quite startling. Top hinged casement windows. That detail was not in the police report, Constable. Yes, sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy. You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable. Oh God, is he gonna dock his pay too? No, sir! Sorry, but what exactly is a top-hinged casement window? And you cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend. Ah, trite. The word trite, how I miss you. Of course. Sorry. I found it, Mr. Naruhodo. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's room. Alright, I'll try. So, the window opens in order to allow air to circulate inside the house. Yeah, that's what I figured. It's like that. Are we sure he's some distant Von Karma? Well, Von Karma... Well, and obviously in the Japanese original, he's German. But I still say it's more likely he's possibly Edgeworth's ancestor. But as it's a top-hinged casement window, it swings open along with the upper edge, you see. His name is literally Manfred. Yeah. I'm glad you rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature. is its stay. A metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount. It prevents it opening? This is all news to me. I think, yeah, like we just saw in the demonstration, it just seems like it's just like up to a certain point. Okay. Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book or a knife were to have been thrown out the open window, it would have been clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below. No. You see the problem then? Good. Your education in Windows is complete. There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards off the road. Damn, you're losing it. You really ought to buy... Manfred from Pharma? No! That is, unless the window pane had been shattered. Something we discounted already. That can't be! Dude, just say it's a setup. It's fine. Did you see that, Rolly? That young Japanese man just collapsed in agony. Oh, yes, my darling. I saw it. I saw how he crumbled before me. Okay, this is fucking weird. Y'all need to get a fucking room. Oh, Rolly, you're so strong. I hate you, and I hate the racist horse you came in with. How is this happening? I haven't even started the cross-examination yet, and already my argument's been destroyed. It's a setup. It's a setup. Counsel, if you could drag yourself upright again, the court awaits your examination. My lord. Oh, good. Another desperate situation. I'm so afraid to get your food, but you need to see where the bullshit goes. Go get food. It might be a while, because we gotta do cross-examination. That might be a little bit, so... I don't know. Oh, but here we go. This racist ass couple.
Hold it!
Through with that motherfucker. How can you say that for certain? A very good question, sir. And the answer is this. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all of us policemen of our sworn duty. He showed us that before, didn't he? Did he? I can't say I remember. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. It's what the job's all about. Uh-huh. And that is why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife and tell you Bobby's good for his word. While rubbing my tired eyes admittedly, sir? Oh, Rolly, you're so manly. Of course I am, my darling Patricia. Oh, Rolly. I'm tired of you. No, none of this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Gairdale? Oh, I see, sir. You should have said so earlier, sir. Yes. Well, so could you answer the question? That was a waste of time, though. Absolutely, sir. I will answer to the fullest of my ability, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Gairdale's domestic dispute can't be related to this case. Is it because they're white? Is that it, Rolly? You racist prick. But before I get into that, sir, just one thing. Yes? I'd very much like you and your countrymen to understand the great British institution of Scotland Yard. Shut your bitch. Oh, I'm so tired. I hate you. So I hope you take back some tales of us London bobbies and how we uphold our guiding principles. I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I've only just arrived here. So, to that end, sir, I'd be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal. But I must warn you, you won't be able to get through it without shedding a few tears. Thank you. I'll try. Well, I wanna... We can't even do anything yet. No, I can't do anything yet. So I guess I gotta...
Hold it!
By which you mean they don't open fully. Is that correct? Yes, sir. They're just enter a lot of bits of air through the house, you see, so they're restricted as to how much they can open. And therefore, anything thrown out the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall into the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map. Here is the location where objects would have fallen. Okay, so now let me just... I just want to check this out, actually. Where the one, a policeman will strive to preserve the peace within his allotted beat. The patrolling officers expected to walk 20 miles around this beat every day for the furtherance of community relations. Item 1. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. When a crime is discovered on this beat, the policeman must assist with the initial investigations and help the detectives. Actually, I just wanted to double check that. Actually. Okay. So then it would have not have, yeah, it definitely would not be, it would just be boo boo, but not foo. Yeah, it's a setup. It has to be a setup. Yes. Directly opposite of the scene of the crime, on the other side of the rather wide road. Would it have been so hard for somebody to mention this top hinge casement thing before? It would, if only we were allowed to... If only we were allowed to add that to our investigation before. Well, I have another question for you, Constable. And what would that be, sir? How did you even know? Why would you have any idea of what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Gerdip's house was furnished with? Ah, well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday. I thought your ass was passed out. You helped? In what way? Various numbers of the public were questioned in order to gain information about the case. That's right, sir. The sad truth is, we're all overworked. So, even though it wasn't under the jurisdiction of my own beat, I obviously wanted to help. I see. Well, thank you. Oh, is it my turn now? Shut your bitch ass up. I'm tired of your racist ass. Okay, I wanna... She obviously reacted, so I wanna pursue that.
Hold it! Excuse me.
Do you have something to add, Mrs. Beat? Sorry? You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that? Oh, I was just remembering, that's all. We really were so lucky. Lucky? What do you mean? Well, of course, I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But we were just so lucky it didn't happen on Rolly's beat. It was so close, you see. Oh, I hadn't realized. Oh, yes, that street, Briar Road. That's the boundary between Rolly's beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love? Nah, his ass fell asleep. Constable Beat. Yes, that's right. That's the reason I was helping out with the interviewing an occupant of the Gartip household yesterday. The house is on my beat, you see. Sir? I really was cutting it close then. Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. If the Gartip household is on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it is as well? Outside Mr. Garretip's house? Yes, Mum. The pavement on that side of the road is part of my beat. I see. I was unaware of that. Just think, if the woman had been attacked just on the other side of Briar Road, we would never have been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. Y'all went to dinner right afterwards? But that's the life of Bobby after all. Extraordinary people are Bobbies, tirelessly working for the benefit of all Londoners. Do you know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Rolly for all this hard work. Don't you think so, my darling? That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it. I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially on record. Leave it to me, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll take care of it immediately. Okay, let me see if I can actually... And now it's my turn, I think. Okay, that's cool. Okay, there it is. Apart from the signal received. Reporting officer. I wish it was a bullet point, because that's kind of important to keep on.
Hold it!
But according to my notes here, the sun had gone down already and it was dark. But Rolly and I were strolling along, gazing at the night sky and looking for our lucky star. Sorry? The star that would guide us to eternal happiness. Oh girl, are you into tarot too? Can it guide you to answer the question? If a flaming book had cut across the sky in front of us, it would have lit up like a shooting star. And if I'd seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. Let really be an expector, I would have said 3 times at least. That's the focus here. Of course, what with the smog and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars. In short, are you trying to say that neither a book nor a knife crossed the sky before you? Yes, sir. That is correct, sir. And as sure as the night sky in London is starlish, sir. It certainly seems like you're telling the truth. And then we saw the poor woman fall to the ground. So we ran straight over to help her.
Hold it!
Yes, you said that you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer, is that correct? That's right, yes! If it had been on Rolly's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course. Don't feel bad, my love. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box on every beat. So Rolly told me the way. I sort of got a little lost on the way. Patricia, my dear darling. That's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly. Oh, please. So, I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes. But like I said. My brother was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed. I was off duty at the time, of course, but a true Bobby is never really off duty, sir.
Hold it!
Nothing to report. Nothing to report? That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. I can swear to that on the God's honor, sir. Really? That seems a little strange. Beg your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. Seems altogether regular to me. This burnt copy of the Lion's Pride was originally in the Garridip's household, so the question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time? Aha! Could it be a different copy, sir? One that just happened to be burnt as well? No, there's no chance. Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As we can see from this photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder. Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene. Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. Two mysteries of how that knife ended up in her back and how that book ended up in her hand is a setup! I've been saying the whole time it's a damn setup! There must be some common thread between them. It's called the racism! Can I ask you something? Please, Mr. Lawyer, sir! Oh, yes, of course. What is it? You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell! What? I wasn't really... I mean, what is she doing? Is she using her white woman tears again? Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable. No one said it wasn't. You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am. No one's saying anything. I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you. No excuses. I don't want to hear it. My voice will be heard. My lord, you'll let me speak, won't you? Woman, you've been doing nothing but speaking here. Yes, Mrs. Beat, I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire. Sometimes the path of least resistance is the sage one. That was a very loud mutter. I heard that! The Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's word counts for nothing, does he? Well, watch out, sir! I might let you get away with something like that, but my really won't! Duly noted, Mrs. Beat. Please, I humbly ask you to continue. What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder? I don't know. I'm just tired. How about you, chat? I know what I saw. My eyes never let me down. My sense of direction's a little off sometimes, though.
Hold it!
Mrs. Beat, nobody is questioning what you've told us. I saw it, I did. That evening I saw it clearly. That little Eastern man with the whiskers and the fully curved back slinking away from the sea. And I knew what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky. Oh, very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction. Oh, yes. Well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I'm always ending up at the wrong place when I've made arrangements with Wally. He gets ever so cross. Oh, well, we've all made mistakes like that from time to time, I'm sure. I got the wrong church at the day of our wedding. I remember. It caused a terrible kerfuffle. I very nearly got married to someone I never even met before. Oh dear, that would have been terrible. That's what's mostly not do, madam. Anyway, continue with your testimony, please, Constable. Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, so obviously.
Hold it! What? Excuse me.
Constable Beat. Is there a problem? No, sir. No problem, sir. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps? Well, in a way, sir. Yes, sir. I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening as well, is all. You mean Mrs. B lost her way on the night of the incident? Well, you see, I sent her off to find a police box in the next street over for mine. But she was gone a fair bit longer than what I was expecting. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes, but my darling was gone a good 15. Oh, Rolly, you're such a tease. But the reason I was gone so long was because the bouquet, silly. The bouquet? Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about? Oh, it was a present for our wedding anniversary. Rolly's so romantic. He saved up for it with farthings and halfpennies when he found it in the gutter while doing his rounds. In the gutter? He was picking up from the gutter. Okay, for some reason I thought he picked up the bouquet for the gutter. Oof. Yes, how romantic. I'd forgotten all about it until just now. Had you, my darling? Oh yes. But that was just between us. But that's important. That's important to know. Hello? No talking about it to anyone else, darling. You have to promise. Really? Oh. What was that all about? Constable B looked very obviously troubled during that exchange. I'm afraid I can't offer any useful insight, Mr. Naruhodo. But I'm quite sure of one thing. We have to ask Mrs. Beat about the bouquet. Mrs. Beat, this bouquet you just mentioned. I'd like you to add details about it to your testimony, please. Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to. I don't like it. What happened was I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while. Okay.
Hold it!
Explain more. You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime? Yes, that's right. Oh, I was so upset. When we ran over and saw it was a woman with a knife in her back. I was so shocked I dropped the bouquet Rolly gave me. It was in a dark spot where the streetlights were casting in the light, so I didn't notice at first. You got your dinner? So far, Patricia is going on about a damn bouquet that her husband gave her on the wedding anniversary, and they just now bringing this up. Hold on, speaking, I should have got water earlier, but let me go get water. I'll be back. Ow. Okay, I'm back and I got some water. My voice a little bit, my throat a little bit. But yeah, basically Patricia casually dropped and mentioned a bouquet. So, ow. And then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on. Yes, and I came back to the scene together on the constable, you see. That's when I spotted my bouquet again. But the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was no one near the victim's body at all. Well, it's likely it got blown. It is a fog and it is winter. In case you need reminding, Mrs. Pete, the victim is not deceased. I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling me from the other side of the road. Your husband, presumably. That's right! Silly me, I'd gone over to the wrong side of the street. Although I'm going to blame the bouquet this time, I can't think how it got there. I really can't. So the bouquet somehow moved from one side of Briar Road to the opposite. Curious indeed. Isn't it? But the worst of it is I forgot to pick the bouquet up again when we left the scene. That beautiful rose Wally bought me, with that change from the gutter he spent so long collecting. He thinks it's like, by bouquet. Do you perhaps mean this sorry solitary rose? Oh! Oh! Yes, that's it! That's the bouquet Rolly bought me for our anniversary, with old bits of change he found in the gutter. Maybe just call it a rose. Tell us, Lord Van Zeeks, what did you come by this flower? According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Garrett household. In front of the Garrett household? Although it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case, since it was found on the opposite end of the thoroughfare. So why did he keep it if they didn't think it was important? That's unless he's just like, oh, a treat for Van Zeeks. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Can I please have it back now, please? Nope. I think for good measure, this rose should be added to the court record as evidence. Oh. Okay, so I gotta check that out. But it's a symbol of our love. Yeah. Alright. An English rose. It's such a beautiful flower. Ah, this is a rose, is it? I've never seen one before. Do you not take an interest in flowers, Mr. Naruhodo? I wouldn't say that exactly, but I do know 3 types at least. Gosh, 3? Yes, plum blossom, peach blossom, and cherry blossom. God, okay. Perhaps you should consider branching out. Learning some that aren't fruit-based tree, for example. The flower is also a knife. See, it was a setup. Huh. The real murder weapon. Well, she's not dead, so. It's very stylish paper the flowers wrapped in, isn't it? It's just an old newspaper, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, or I suppose it's because I'm not used to seeing English print. It looks so exotic to me. Fair enough. I see. Is something wrong? Oh, no. I was just thinking if you wrapped a stone-baked sweet potato in English newspaper, it might look like some sort of fancy cake. Susato-san, you do love your cakes. I mean, who doesn't like their cakes? I don't think anything really is out of the ordinary here. Okay, yeah, I already see that. I don't know. Okay, it's just repeating. Guess there's nothing new there. I want it back after the trial. Do you hear me? I want it back. Good grief. Rest assured that I shall do my very best not to forget, Mrs. Beat. And she won't let us forget. Well, you just mentioned this and you're lying. You're lying.
Objection!
They did it. I knew it all along. You claim, Constable Beat, that there was nothing to report in the 15 minutes or so the 15 or so minutes you were guarding the scene. But that cannot be. What do you need to say? In your testimony just now, Mrs. B, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to that beat, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby.
Objection!
Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road, where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of that meager bouquet, if a single soy bloom could be so described, no doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back into the gutter where it belongs. Goddamn! Meager? Yeah, meager. Meager?
Objection!
But if that were the case, why did Constable Beat not testify to the fact? No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beat swore that on Scotland Yard's honor. But the bouquet belonged to me. It has nothing to do with the case. That's why Roy didn't mention it, I'm sure. No, he just didn't see it. No, because sadly, it's not your only bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way around. What are you talking about? Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beat's bouquet, there's Mr. Garrett*'s book. Mr. Garrett's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out of the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beat's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mr. Garrett's house. Are you really trying to... No, but that would actually kind of lead more credence to the whole setting up theory. Because, okay, so say that the lady was stabbed here, and the person like dropped the books, or they dropped the books, and it's very likely, while the craziness was going on, there's no way. There's no fucking way. No, there has to be a setup. Maybe, just maybe they picked it up and then stabbed the lady and then gave her the book. That could be a possibility too. Right? Chat? What do we think? Like, okay. Maybe they didn't go in. Maybe they didn't go in and grab the books. Possibly they had other books because it did seem that Mr. Natsume has books. It's very. I could. It's possible if this is a setup, and I want to believe it is a setup, that they had already had the books planned to drop it and go. They would drop it off at the scene of the crime. They would stab the lady, and the book would land in her hand. No, not land. They would give her the book that was thrown out of the window. It's very possible that these books that the Mr. Natsume has there's copies. There's just no way there's only ever one copy of anything, you know? As we learn. It's a setup. It's a setup. Trust me, it's a setup. There's no logical explanation for those things. Unless somebody deliberately moved them. What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, it sounds like you think my Riley's done something wrong. Don't you listen to a word that scrawny lawyer says? I don't know, Lily. Fine, no, it does not. It makes zero fucking sense. It is way too fucking stupid. Wittering on about books and bouquets. Why should we care? It's nitpicking, that's what it is. Well, that's what a fucking lawyer does, you asshole. Oh, good. Mrs. Scaredib's come round. You might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Scaredib, but I call it doing my goddamn job. But deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. It's called tampering, Mr. Naruhodo. But the person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it for a very subtle but compelling reason.
Objection!
Tampering? Right, well, she's 16, that's why. She's 16 and a woman. That's literally it. That's literally it. Tampering? We've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend, who would possibly have had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception? Yes, there is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person. Counsel, I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. I'm saving it just in case. This case is fucking wild. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the scene of the crime? Obviously not Sato, not him, definitely not him, not her. Not her, because she was in her house and she's to be beat a bitch. Not him, because he's being beaten. Not Herlock. He's stupid. He's big sexy. She is the victim. She was looking so... No. This is so fucking stupid. But it wouldn't be the first time. And it's certainly not going to be the last time. Good thing I saved. If I'm wrong, then I would rather be wrong. I want to be wrong. But there's really no other way to go about it.
Take that!
Obviously. There's only one person it could have been. Constable Roy Beat. It was you. What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard? What nonsense! Why would my really do something like that? There's no one straighter than my husband. Okay. There's no one. Yeah, we can tell. The straights are not okay. We're really not. New Bobby works more tirelessly for the people of London. Mrs. B, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it. Oh, so yeah, that makes sense because he didn't want to deal with it because he was tired, so he moved her over across the street. No, Vicky, it's all nonsense. It's all lies. What about that Japanese man in the whiskers? I bet it was him. He did it.
Objection!
If that were true, Constable Beat would have seen him do it. Ooh. And forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your cocaine, Miss Beat, it was after the defendant had fled the scene. Well.
Objection!
First you make accusations about the landlord and his wife, and now you incriminate the policeman as well. He's like, when will this oppression against the white folk against Londoners will end? But your accusations lack one very important thing. You claim the crime scene was tampered with, but there is only one reason. But there is only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime: to hide something. That's right, he's right. But my husband and I just happened to be there, that's all. So why would we have anything to hide? It doesn't make sense. You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering, and until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats. Constable Beat had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. Yeah, because his ass is tired. That's the key to the entire affair. Mr. Naruhodo, have you managed to solve this mystery? Counsel, you have made a very serious accusation against a London police officer. If you are mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out that your reputation as a lawyer will be irrevocably damaged. And with that stock warning in mind, you will now explain to the court the motive for this alleged tampering. Yes, my lord. Constable Beat's motives for tampering the crime scene was to hide. No, not where the book fell. Not where the bouquet fell. He don't give a shit about the book. He didn't even know that the bouquet fell. Or even where it was, but where the victim fell. Where the victim fell to the ground. That is what his Bobby had to cover up. That is what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs. What? Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement of Briar Road. We saw it happen, remember? It was right here, as if anyone didn't already know. That's certainly what everybody has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all. What? What? I still say it's a setup. I still very much say it's a setup. I'm beginning to wonder whether this tumultuous trial will end, Consul. I think we all are, G. If that's your assertion, then the court is dying to know, my Nipponese friend. Me too, Judge. Where are you proposing that the crime actually took place that evening? Well, I'm not gonna go ahead and save. I hate this. Well, wish me luck. I say this is setup, and I say that this makes sense still for the setup, because crossing that stream will take a lot of time. If he just did it, if she was stabbed right outside here, then That's more created to the setup.
Take that!
But that's on the opposite side of the road. I don't understand. On the evening in question, Mr. Garridib's book fell directly down from the open window above. And your bouquet, Mrs. B, never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself. Good gracious! But the setup still can work because, again,
Objection!
it would have taken too much. Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place. That's right. I saw it with my own eyes. It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was the typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid, that was actually on the west side of Briar Road. No, that's not true. It can't have been. Constable B then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in this print. The victim herself, the 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road. Because he didn't want to deal with that shit. I mean, fair, but like, it's still kind of fucked up because someone could have fucking died. But that could also explain why the stabbing was so bloodless. Anyways, I got my own dinner meats, so I'm gonna eat for a little bit while we think about it. Extraordinary. But the constable overlooked one thing. What did he overlook? Okay, I presume. Exactly. The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. And that was another one thing I did notice too, was that the husband was also trying to say, man, shut up about the bouquet. So, yeah, he did it. Motherfucker did it. But it would be quite a twist if he was the one who actually stabbed her. The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago. I just read that. Lord Van Zeek said it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. Yes, it couldn't be seen in the dark, obviously. Which is why it was only the bouquet. That was found in its original position, on the pavement, on the west side of Briar Road. And because he knew that his wife was shit at directions, yeah, this motherfucker did it. Book him, boys! Book one of your own. And that is the defense's theories about what really happened that evening. How do you respond? Constable Rolly Beat? Are we gonna have our Dangan Rapin moment? Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important? Oh, Rolly! Come on, I want to break down. It isn't true, is it? What that lawyer says, all lies, isn't it? I know it is because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know. No fucking pressure. Please. We need a breakdown. I don't think we had a breakdown in this game yet. I had a dream. A terrible dream. All the things I did that night. What if she divorced him because he lied? Honestly, it's what they deserve. That's all I'm gonna say. Is what they fucking deserve. Everything come out. Everything exposed. Only it seems it wasn't a dream at all. Good golly! Divorce him. Order! 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 What on earth is the meaning of all this? Oh, really? Why? Why would you do something like this? Moving a corpse is a criminal offense, isn't it? She's not dead. She's not dead. What the fuck? This woman is one of those true crime enthusiasts, and not the good ones either. Wishing the victim dead should be one too. Hell yeah. Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London town. I can't say, sir. What? I really am ever so sorry about all of this. For damaging the Yard's reputation. For everything. Okay. It's not our problem. I have a possible explanation. For why, on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason. What? How could you possibly know? You, a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman. It's really not that complicated, my guy. It really isn't. And yet, Lord Van Zeeks, it is this foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far. Ugh. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defense, if you please. Yes, my lord. Now then, I think you had better show us some evidence. At once, my lord. England, Japan, it makes no difference where you come from. Human emotions are the same. But I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions. What gives away the motive for Constable Beast's unthinkable actions?
Take that!
I mean, simple as that. They've been simping for each other the entire fucking time. I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land, and I had only just arrived from Japan. Which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learned that, through Honorable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example. Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens on this beat in all kinds of ways. There's no doubt that the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly. But for Constable Beat, that day in question was special. Special? How? On account of this bouquet, my lord. Oh, yes! It was our very first wedding anniversary! Constable B had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife, and was so looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal. When he and Mrs. Beat stumbled upon the crime along Briar Road. He didn't want to do it, and like I said, that's completely fair. When he saw That shadowy figure through the fall collapsed on the pavement ahead of him. What must have gone through the man's mind? But sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. B puts up with a lot being married to a Bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. Fucking boys. He committed the stabbing. This is the warrant card that Constable B offered to lend me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says... When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with the initial investigation and help detectives. Aha! Constable Beat. Is that, or is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day? Yes. Everything you said, it's all right. So that's it. Oh. Sorry about that. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat. Ew. Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beat's beat. Good gracious. Constable, do you realize the gravity of what you have done? Well, guess he's going to jail. It was the first time since I became a copper that I ever cursed gold. Goddamn! Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could still be lurking somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. We've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with the initial investigations and help detectives. Why here? Why did this have to happen here? And why tonight, of all nights? This man is so cursed. To be honest with you, I have sympathy, like, to a certain point, you know? Why? Sir, as much as your wife brags about your job, I'm sure she would have understood. Yeah, exactly. It's a corpus job to guard the scene of the crime, so I told Pat she had to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever was on duty there. Because then, when I opened my mouth to speak, it just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So you'll have to go to the police box that covers it. Turn right along Mersham Street, and then he's really. Can we have our breakdown now? Because I bet you he's the one who did. No, I'm kidding. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. Somebody else did. But he definitely covered up their crime. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Constable. This game really just about discovering other people's crimes. Yeah, it really is. Like, not the I think, well, when it comes time, I'll talk about my feelings then. But for right now, I just wanted, just that one night, to take my Patricia out for dinner. Oh, really? Just that one night. You knew that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would have been ruined. And so you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction. Just across the street to the east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring beat's care. You see, I thought, but I was sure that the victim was dead, you see. I beg your pardon? Oh, of course he did. Otherwise, my Remy would have never left the poor woman on the freezing cold pavement. This woman is so naive. Ah, I see your meaning now. God got me back for my sin, didn't he? That's why I missed the ruse I bought for Pat. No, Wally, that was all my fault. I should have never dropped into such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Wally. Am I supposed to feel sorry for this bitch? Because I don't. I really don't. And can you tell us, Constable, how many books did you move from the one side of the road to the other in total? 4 it was. Yes, sir. Definitely. 4. 3 of them dropped by Mr. Natsume, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in the Garrett household, of course. But what made you place the book in the victim's hand? When all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean. Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. How you found it? What do you mean? When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. Are you sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding? Oh yes, sir. No doubt about it. Sir? Interesting. Okay, so what probably happened was initially, here's my theory now that we know for a fact that this happened, what's it called? Ooh, that's spicy. So for the fact that what probably happened was the book fell out from the Garrett's house. Fine, she picks it up, the stabber stabs her, and Natsume discovers it, drops the books, and goes away. Very quickly, then right after that, the couple comes up, finds the discovery. Rolly sends Patricia off, then he moves the crime scene. That's my theory. It really is going to be a setup, isn't it? I guess we'll finally have our first Danganronpa breakdown. I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only 2 people at the scene. And Pat and me both saw it happen. However, which way you looked at it, it had to be the fellow who ran off who done it, I thought. Because y'all are racist. The stabber really played to his advantage. I couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving it to toll over the road would make a jot of difference. Yes, it makes a big difference. Holy shit. I I suppose this is it for me now. I've had it. My lord. Yes, Lord Van Six? I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. Constable, you may withdraw. Yes, sir. Mr. Prosecutor, sir. What will become of my Wooly? What will happen to him? Turn in your badge, bitch. Hell yeah. For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course. Please, don't punish my husband. This was all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late. Oh god, he's gonna die. Right? Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Alright then, my love. One last thing, Constable. Sir? Let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you. Yes, sir. Yeah, well, you should have thought of that. Carve that lesson to your mind. You know, I just realized they're probably giving him ample time to run off to avoid being punished, but that's just my gay theory. I don't think we ever get caught up on what happens. He's gonna get freaking McGilded. F for the chat. Get your F's ready now. Carve that lesson to your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of a crime. Never again, sir? You mean to say? Leave now. This trial is not yet over. I mean... yes, sir! Yeah, of course his ass is still on the force. Well, quite a startling revelation, I must say. Whoever thought of a third party transplanting the entire scene of a crime like that? Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here, principally that the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume, is the only person that could have possibly committed this crime.
Objection!
No, he was set up. He was set up. No, I disagree. Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there is someone else. Another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back. Forgive me for being presumptuous, but I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of this possibility already. Lord Van Six, is this true? Very well. Name this person if you will. And if further investigation is warranted, the prosecution has no objection to the trial continuing. Alright, I will do this shit. Chat, what's your game theory so far? Do you think Sosuke was still set up? I still think he is. There's just no fucking way. There's no fucking way that he was not set up. After all of that. Alright. But, we brought it up. You're still a flying knife believer? No! Alright, you will name this other person who could have perpetrated the crime. Well, we don't have anybody else that could have done it but Joan. So we'll
Take that!
dig a little deeper and see where we can go with this. The defense will once again like to request a cross-examination of a new witness, my lord. I don't think it's a fine night. I think she's gonna open up the doorway for a setup. There's just no way. No fucking way. Once again, my assistant made the same request earlier. In order to finally reveal the truth about this case, it's imperative that we cross-examine juror number 4, Mrs. Joan Garrideb. Me? Me? Oh, dearie me.
Objection!
That request has already been denied.
Objection!
No, it hasn't, technically. But the situation is very different now. Mrs. Garrideb, answer me this. What do you want now, you little toad? At the time of the incident, you were engaged in a violent argument with your husband, Mr. John Garrideb. In the course of the argument, a minor house fire was ignited. And to clear the smoke from the room, your husband opened a window that looks out over Briar Road. Well, what of it? You threw this book at your husband when he was cornered with his back against the window. Upon striking the pane of the open top hinged casement window, the book plummeted directly down. Finding its way to what we now know to be the true scene of the incident. Yes, and as I said, what of it? During the argument, you were beside yourself with rage, and as such, you do not just book but anything you can lay your hands on. So, let me ask you one more time, Mrs. Garrideb. This knife, the one removed from the victim's back. Have you really never laid eyes on it before? I don't recall it. Seriously? Am I supposed to remember everything I picked up and threw at my husband? I would at least expect you to remember what shit you own. Or he owned, or you guys own. And anyway, that man over there and all that regalia said the members of the jury needed to testify, didn't he? Conveniently, yes.
Objection!
No, I have no recollection of saying all that at all. Juror number 4. Even he's like, yeah, don't involve me in your bullshit. Ew. Make no mistake. You jurors are not special in any way. You are not immune to the judicial process. Oh god. Now I want that whole, you know the Garfield meme where he says you're not immune to propaganda? I want a picture of him with this, you are not immune, and I screen capped it so I could get you the exact quote if needed. If anybody wants to draw it or do it or Photoshop, I'll fucking do it myself. You know what? I'm gonna put that for the thumbnail. So if you haven't seen it already on YouTube, that's gonna be the thumbnail, and I'm gonna post it in the Discord. So I love this. This is funny. If you know something about the knife, madame, let the truth come out. But that's just a common old garden knife. It could have come from anywhere. We have several like that at home. If one went missing, how would you expect me to know? What's that? Are you joking? What are you saying? Please, Mrs. Garrideb. Her husband's a hoarder. Now you listen to me. I refuse to believe all this nonsense. I couldn't bear the thought that I'd injured someone, Do you hear? I couldn't bear it. And yet you're smacking on juror number 5, you're throwing shit at your husband. Okay, whatever. Oh, that poor woman. So, yes, I want evidence. I want to see hard evidence if you're going to insist on this being my fault. You're going to have to prove to me that I threw that knife if that's what you think. Come along now, top top. Do your worst. Oh, well, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, time to save. I'll trust this lady. If I have evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown it at her already. Then take the stand, juror. Oh! Prosecution does not object to the defense's request to cross-examine this woman. Thank you, Lord Van Zeeks. I'm gonna have to testify? Juror number 4. As I'm sure you would appreciate, having observed it with your own eyes, very eyes today, witness testimony can lead to the most extraordinary truths being unearthed. Truths of which the witnesses themselves may not even have been aware. Oh, dearie me. So I demand your full and unadulterated testimony, Mrs. Garden. Mark my words, in this court of law today, we shall extract the truth. Do you concur, counsels? Certainly, my lord. Oh, that's what I'm hoping for, my lord. Guess we're getting our gender ropa breakdown just yet. Such a strange feeling. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real. You've been saying it like fucking 20 times. I'm here, in the Old Bailey, and I'm a lawyer. I think he has short-term memory. I think so too. Witness, state your name and occupation. Oh, yes, my name is Joan Gardeb. And well, I'm a juror and such like. It sounds like even she doesn't know if she's a housewife or a maid or what anymore. The court has decided your testimony is required in order to clarify matters in this case. Do you understand, madam? Yes, my lord. You will tell the court everything that took place in your household on the evening in question. Now I'd warn you, do not attempt to hide the truth. Oh, dearie me. Chin up, Judy. Nothing to worry about now. Yeah, that's probably her. Yeah, that's St. Pepsi himself. Oh, I didn't know you were here, John. Was it only you in that room all that day old thing, was it? Rather think I ought to testify as well, don't you? The Moon Man. Yes, the Moon Man. Hello, Sidetricks Gaming. How you doing tonight? Welcome to my stream. Hopefully you're enjoying the food ASMR and my silly little voice acting. Feel free to follow or subscribe if you want. No pressure either way. Just enjoy yourself. But what you need, dear? Don't you worry about that. Hardly notice it. I'm not the sort of chap to leave the comrade face disciplinary action alone. Yes, welcome to this utter circus of a case. Oh, John. I presume you are Mr. John Garrett? Yes, sir. Former second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment of the 4th Northumberland Fusiliers, sir. I cannot say that. There's too many letters, my brain cannot keep up. See my fair share of action and now living the quiet life, as it were. The quiet life? The quiet life. Were you not engaged in an incendiary battle with your spouse in the day in question? Well, yes. Quite. I believe this may represent the first in the proud history of the British court. I sincerely doubt it. Calling the judge the witness stand is unprecedented. However, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4, and that of your husband. You will recount clearly and concisely the events in your home at the time of the incident in question. Sir, at once. Yes, on the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. Can't recall the reason now. Knocked a candlestick over and set fire to the carpet. Soon had it out though and got the window. Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him. Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I noticed if one or two was missing, I'm afraid. If that badly thing in the victim's back really was one of ours, you would have a job proving it, I think. I still say it's a setup. I still think it's a coincidence. It's a massive coincidence. There's just no way. There's just no way that if it falls out, I don't know, man. It sounds as though it was quite the battlefield in your household that evening. Although, an entirely one-sided assault, it seems. The enemy caught us on the hop, sir. Had no choice but to dig in and take defensive measures. To be honest, if the enemy had kept shelling us for another minute, we'd have been toast. Of course, a veteran such as myself is only too aware that on every battlefield, you're just a gnat's whisker from death at any moment. Are we still talking about a marital quarrel over here? Well, to be fair, those can get really intense, but again, domestic violence is no joke. Well, I must say, I'm dubious that this testimony will shed any light on the origins of this jackknife. In combat, one's focus now is such that surroundings are barely noticed. These witnesses may not be able to afford anything more than they have testified already. This may be a dead end. Fantics may well be right. Well, whatever the chances, we only have this last cross-examination to uncover the truth, Mr. Naruhodo. This is the last cross-examination. Hello? Yes, I'm afraid so. Very well, Counsel. Begin your cross-examination. Yeah, right? What? Yeah, there really should be an investigation. Like, there has to be.
Hold it!
even though the room was on fire, she's like the woo. Only teens kids would get this, or 2000s teens kids would get this. The roof is on fire. That was lame. I'm gonna get booed. As far as I was concerned at the time, it was more important to extinguish my anger than the flames. When a woman wants to throw, she must throw. Hello, Megabillion. How you doing tonight? I got some great news. Now you get more emotes for your tier, since I know you've been subscribed for like a while now, so now you have more emotes. Unleash the Tingle Nation. The most certainly not true. I was about to take down Mr. Naruhodo. How did she know I was taking that? So, please cast your mind back to try to remember. Was a knife among the items that you threw at your husband that day? Ooh, somebody's got fun with throat. And honestly, I don't recall. But I feel I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see. Some bread, a cabbage, garlic, a towel, and a sponge, a napkin. It was really only soft items I was throwing. No, you were. You were not. That's bullshit. Straight up bullshit. I was really most restrained. That is also bullshit. The majority of them barely hit John. He is my husband, after all. Exactly. Pearl is also here for those moments. Okay, I see, Mrs. Garrett. Your thoughtfulness and consideration for your spouse is apparent. No, she was not. That is bullshit. What about you, Mr. Garrett? Do you remember what your wife threw at you? Well, I recall The Lion's Pride, of course. Jolly good book. Only just purchased it too. I guess you guys are having fun with the emos, huh? And a jolly good book for burning, it seems. But there was the dust. It's an awful scene on the battlefield, I can tell you. Flames everywhere. Smoke billowing. Couldn't see a bally thing, really. I dare say I wouldn't have noticed a knife bouncing off the old bounce. I don't think they tend to bounce, actually. Oh my god, you gave her sunglasses? That's so funny. That's what Pearl deserves. Okay, so obviously he reacted. I really wanna. Okay, press. I kind of wish they had like a skip picture, or maybe I just didn't notice it before.
By Jupiter!
Alright, dude.
Excuse me!
Do you have something to add, sir? Mr. Garridib! Don't shoot! Sorry, I beg your pardon? Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind? Nothing of any significance, no. Just that the barrage of projectiles the old thing launched in my direction was somewhat more solid than she implies. Books, bricks, and a fire poker I seem to recall. A fire poker? A fire poker! Hello? Ouch. And the woman still aims uncanny. She landed him every play. Ah! She's still pouring hot tea on his ass. Goddamn. Good grief, woman. We're not at home now. This is a court of law. Sir, do you need some help? And I mean, this is not a bit or anything. Like, do you need help? Again, domestic violence is no joke. Oh, dearie me. Ever so sorry, dear. That woman was out for blood. Like, she really was. I understand, because, like, for me, I have ended relationships where they cheated on me, and I'll do it again. And I understand it. Like, cheating is the one thing that you should not do with me, or anyone really. But really, with me, I will just break up with you and move on with my goddamn life, no matter what. I'll do it cold too. I don't give a shit. And so I understand where she's coming from, but Jesus Christ, a fire poker? Like, what's she even doing with a teapot in here? Honestly, John, I would never have done such things at you, obviously. Well, take a look at this then. How do you suppose that happened? Your pipe, sir. I had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles, she did. Yes. When I went to pick the thing up, it was broken in two. I'd like to see a sponge do that sort of damage. I see. Your pipe was broken. It would have never been set flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Anyway, I managed to bandage the thing up for now. You're one to exaggerate, aren't you, dear? I wonder what we should make of this account. I think it could be important. Because it's something like that. Just for the fact that she's throwing like all these hard-ass things. I don't know. I think it's important. And usually when these things are pointed out, it's usually important. The defense believes Mr. Garretiff's remarks just now to be of great significance.
Objection!
This war veteran's words only tell us one thing. This woman needs to see a therapist and she needs to quit her domestic violence. Betray a fiery wife, and pipes, as well as hearts, may be broken. Sentimental wisdom, perhaps, but hardly worthy of adding to the formal testimony. Indeed, common sense, one might say. Might one? In that case, would you at least permit us to examine the pipe, sir? Well, I don't see why not. Oh, dearie me! There you go again, trying to ingratiate yourself with a young lady. I don't know why she came out Scottish, or... yeah, Scottish. That's my bad. Very well. This court will accept the gentleman's pipe as evidence. Okay, so that shit's in our court record. I hope I didn't speak out of turn, Mr. Naruto. You're fine. You're perfect, Susato. Really, like, she really is just fine. Alright, so what's... oh, shit. Hold on. Hold on, I'm gonna take a look at this. It looks to be a sorry state of that management, doesn't it? But for some reason, it feels slightly ominous to me. Like it's trying to shout out a warning. Probably because it's the same blue as Mr. Garretiff's dressing gown. I suppose it must have considerable sentimental value to Mr. Garretiff, given that he's gone to the trouble of repairing it like this. Either that or he can't afford to replace it, which is most likely the scenario. But I want to look. Let's look at this. This is suspicious. It says, as Bailey Sarian once said, suspicious. Oh, something just twinkled inside the chamber of the pipe there. Yes, I saw it. Something stuck in there, I think. Let's turn it over and give it a shake. What's this? It's a tiny fragment of metal. It looks like the tip of a blade or something. I fucking swear to God, I fucking hope that is... No, don't let it be so. The tip of a blade? Surely it could be. Ash, if your theory is correct, I'm gonna yell. It's not back on. I still think that somebody got... Okay, so what probably happened was that she threw it. Knife on the loose. Not the knife on the loose. My game theory right now is that she threw it, right? Okay, fine. Okay, so even better yet. Mr. Natsume really did see the cry. He dropped the book, he runs. He didn't do it. We know he didn't do it. We know for a fact he didn't do it. So what probably happened, Joan threw the knife, the blade snapped, and it fell into his pipe somehow, and it fell out. The person picked up the knife and then stabbed the lady who was picking up the book. Why? Because again, they saw Mr. Natsume coming. They didn't like him because of racism, and then they stabbed her and booked it. That's my game theory. It has to be. This is the tiny piece of metal that we found in the chamber of Mr. Garretiff's pipe. It looks like it's tip of a blade or something. Chat, what are your theories? The tip of a blade? Is something wrong, Mr. Naruto? I don't really know. There's just something niggling me, but I can't quite put my finger on what it is. Perhaps in that case... Yeah, I already know your theory, Ash. You think It was the copper right now. Okay, no, I know what your theory is. But chat, do you have any other theories? It would be wise to examine some other the other pieces of evidence again. The knife. No, that is too stupid. That is fucking stupid if that happens like that. Side trick. I'm not calling you stupid. I'm not calling you stupid. But that would be really stupid of the game to do that. I fucking hope not. See, someone agrees with you. No. God, I hate this. Oh my god, are you fucking serious? I swear to god. Like, I'm begging. I am begging this thing. I am begging this thing not to. Okay, I'll accept that this is fine. I'll accept that it's fine that this is the tip of the blade. That's fine. Okay, cool. But you can still stab somebody with a dull blade. Oh, look here, Mr. Naruto. Just at the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing. Wait a minute, part of it is missing? I could be wrong, but I'm just kind of feeling... You remember this? Ah, that's the tiny fragment of metal we found inside Mr. Garrett's pipe. Yes, and just maybe... Oh my, it's a perfect fit! Somehow, I just knew it. It's almost as if this is a game you're in, Naruto. Oh my god, this is so dumb. If it's that, I swear to god, it's gonna be so fucking stupid. I was just feeling rather disappointed for you that your request was turned down. Oh no, it's fine. Thanks to Sasato-san, we have some new evidence to work with. We should examine it carefully, even though I just did. Well, thank you for that. Rebuttal, Mr. Garrett. Now, if you can return to the crux of the matter, what can you tell the court about the knife used to attack the victim? Plenty of knives around our place. It's a... was one of ours. You have a job proving it. Like, okay, I believe that it did fall out of the house. That much I'll agree with. Like with the book, they're fighting, you're being drama, whatever. The book falls out, the victim picks it up, the knife falls out, somebody sees the knife, they see Mr. Natsume coming the other way, and then the other person stabs her, then fucks off. And, you know, because of the couple, and because, you know, first of all, the couple's racist, so they already have issues with Natsume. And so, you know, when Patricia goes and gets the other cop, Rolly moves the body, or moves her across the street just so he doesn't have to deal with it. Again, because he's like, well, he's a Japanese guy, so it doesn't matter, who cares? I just don't want to deal with it. So, boom. And, yeah. So I'll take this in.
Objection!
I'll take that. I'll take that the knife fell out of the house, but I will not buy that it stabbed her. Mr. Garrett, can I ask you to take a good look at this, please? You could ask, but I can't see a bloody thing. You can't? You used to call me Dead-Eyed Dan back in the regiment, of course, but that was some time ago now. You will bet $10? I have no money to give, unfortunately. Even if I'm trying to enjoy a large print book by the fire these days. Well, how about this then? I'll say whatever you want me to do, Citrix Gaming. I'll do whatever within reason, of course. Even when I'm trying to enjoy a large print book by the fire these days, I struggle to tell a B from a D and a P from a Q, to be honest. Time to get a Kindle, my good sir. Oh, he does. Dearie me, it's rather wearing being asked about every other letter and every other word. Get glasses, my guy. You must very dizzy. What? That's a strange pun to make. I get what they're trying to say, but okay. What is that? A tiny scrap of metal? Yes, almost certainly from the tip of a blade. And what may appear at first to be just a tiny scrap is in fact a crucial piece of evidence. Rinosuke, he's dyslexic, what the fuck? right? He needs to get a Kindle. He's dyslexic. He needs glasses. Leave the old son alone. Interesting. And where did the defense come by this evidence? It was lodged in the chamber of Mr. Garridip's pipe. My pipe, you say? By Jove, I wonder how that got in there. And what precisely does this fragment of metal signify, Counsel? Are you suggesting that it is in some way related to the matter of the stabbing on Friar Road? I am. What? When put together with another piece of evidence already in the court record, I believe this tiny fragment of metal will unravel the whole truth of this case, my lord. I love they have to get him a box. Shit, he's still wearing those burnt up clothes? You appear rather confident in that extraordinary statement, Counsel. Very well then, present the pertinent evidence to the court. What evidence when paired with this fragment of metal allegedly reveals the truth of this entire case? The jackknife. Again, I'm fine with the fact, once more, before we present this, I am okay with the fact that the knife fell out. Okay, that beats the whole, okay, the guy was carrying and he was intentionally doing it. Fine, whatever. I'm just gonna hit it.
Take that!
This is the knife that was found in the victim's back. Now, if you look closely, you will see that there is a small piece at the tip of the blade that is missing. A common issue with inferior blades sold at unsavory street markets. Criminals who use them regularly leave the tips lodged in the victim's bones. I mean, he would know. He's a prosecutor. He's probably seen some shit. That's why I'm just like, that's why I'm saying, that's why I was like kind of surprised, like, oh, it actually fell out the house. Because stabbings are kind of an issue, especially in London. And what of this particular knife? No doubt this tit has suffered a similar fate, now languishing somewhere near the spine of the victim.
Objection!
But in this case, it's not true. We actually have the tip. No, that's not the case. The tip of this particular knife's blade is the very fragment of metal we discovered in the chamber of Mr. Garridip's pipe. Ah! Good grief. Lord Van Zieks? I don't believe it. The knife from the crime scene and this fragment of metal are a perfect match. Good golly gosh. Order! Is this some sort of Eastern sorcery? Oh god, here we go again. This is no magic, my lord. This is a miracle. A miracle? So Van Zieks has figured it out, hasn't he? What, this is a setup? This is a setup, right? Counsel, explain this extraordinary coincidence at once. Yes, my lord. The crucial point we have to ask ourselves here is when did the fragment of metal find its way inside Mr. Garridip's pipe? Something that was clarified for us in the most recent witness testimony. He just said it. Like, he just says it. Like, yeah, it was knocked out. Dearie me. During the argument between these two that occurred just as the victim was on the pavement below, Mrs. Garridip flung this knife at her husband. Jesus Christ. However, the knife missed Mr. Garridip. Instead of striking the pipe in his hand at the time, please God. Okay, so it missed and it hit his pipe. Okay, fair enough. Which caused the tip to break off, of course. Good lord! Yes, and that is when the tiny tip of the blade attempted murder, right? Booker. Seriously! No, seriously, like this is so fucked up. Found its way inside Mr. Garrage's pipe. The chances of that are 1,000,000 to 1. Well, we are just unlucky in this Ace Attorney world, that's all I can say. And yet, there is no other credible explanation for how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then, after losing its tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out into the open window. Ah. In short, this knife, which fell from the window of the Garradip's house, No, I do not accept this. I do not accept this. I do not accept this. I'm not reading that line because it's not real. I'm not reading that line. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. The knife did not just... No, it landed on the ground, someone picked it up, and then stabbed her. Because otherwise, what's the point of this case? If not to kind of be like, hey, y'all, racism is bad. You know, you shouldn't try to set people up. That would have been a nice deep meaning. I'm not reading that. I'm not reading that. It did not happen. No, I did not. That did not. No. I hate this. I hate this. No. I'm not. I'll stay here all night if I have to. Fuck. The more I look at it, the angrier I'm gonna get. So I'm just gonna actually read it and then go on. It's the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back on the street below. Oh gosh! Oh dear! Oh dear!
Objection!
Thank you, my king. I could fix him. But thank God he's standing up for this shit. This is so stupid. A full body theory. I'll give you that. A complex bouquet of seemingly trivial points, plausibly arranged to create an almost passable vintage. Allow me to toast my learned friend's characteristically Nipponese approach to bottling his argument. I can fix him, okay? He's still my king, and I can fix him. I can fix him. Sorry? But after all, it is just a theory. A game theory. The bottle, I fear, is corked. Because you see... He did the leg! He did the leggy! He did the leggy, chat! I read it as... No! Not the bottling his argument. No! Is spoiled by an insurmountable inconsistency. Insurmountable... What? He's not wrong. Lord Van Zeeks, explain yourself and keep your legging on the bench, please. It is required by law now. What is this inconsistency you claim to have identified? An inconsistency of the simplest nature, my lord. The victim was found with a knife planted in the middle of her back. Yes, in her... That's right, you silly little man. Now, Juno, what are you getting so excited about? Let us consider the basic facts of the case once more. The victim was walking along the pavement before being stabbed in the back and falling to the ground. If the knife that struck her had fallen from above, there's no possible way it could have planted itself into the victim's back. Order! Quite right, you see. That's exactly right. If the knife had fallen from her from above, it would have struck her on the top of her head.
Then she really would have died. Oh my god.
That's only if that theory goes. Well, oh god.
Oh god, no. Oh god, oh god. No! No, God, please, no! 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 Oh God, no! I said it earlier too! No! No! This is awful. This case, is this the turnabout big top of this game, of this series, of this particular series? Because it really feels like it. It really feels like it. Oh my god! I hate this.
He's lost for words. Look. I knew it. I need to select his theory in the first place. Oh, I don't know what really did happen. It would appear the defense has made a rather spectacular blunder. If a theory has even one consistency, it cannot stand. Your theory, my learned friend, is history.
I know exactly. This is Ash. You better not be reading ahead. I swear to God. We were so close. I could see the truth. I was so sure we were on the right track. But now, the way it has been blocked completely. By just one simple inconsistency. Or in other words, we simply needed to eliminate that one inconsistency and the theory will still stand. Why do you keep predicting shit for this case? It's so funny, but like in the worst way possible.
Mr. Sato! You mustn't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. You were just caught off guard, that's all, and your mind went blank. But if the path you're on is incorrect, then a way will present itself. The key to this is in the court record, I'm sure. All the information you need is there. It seems you have nothing to say, my Nipponese friend. Well, your silence speaks volumes. Accept it on your theory. It's fatally flawed. I hate this. This is completely awful.
Objection!
This inconsistency doesn't mean I wasn't on the wrong path. It means that I need to sharpen my mind and dig deeper for the truth.
He was set up.
It's a test. Yes. If the knife fell on the victim from above, there's no way that it could have hit her in the middle of her back. Under normal circumstances, that is. What are you implying? Counsel? There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can explain this inconsistency. That can explain how the knife that fell from above could have pierced the victim's back. We already have the answer. Goodness! Utter madness! Surely this must be the last time. Counsel, present the evidence of which you speak. This is the last inconsistency, the final piece of the puzzle. If I can successfully make sense of this, the truth will be laid bare at best, at last. The evidence that explains how the falling knife became lodged to the victim's back is this.
Take that!
I hate this case!
This. The fourth book, found at the scene. This is the final piece of the evidence that the defense will present.
Your mind is way too fucking powerful. Are you sure you're not cheating, Ash?
The burnt book? Is that not Mr. Gadd's book? Yes, and to understand its significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the scene in the first place. This photograph clearly shows the book in question, and the victim holding it in her hand. But as we all knew, that it was the police constable that put the book between her fingers like that. You promise this is all theorizing, baby. Your third eye is wide open. I hate this. This is... Well, you know, on the bright side, as frustrating as this case is, at least we got the big circus talk case out of the way now. Quite so. As part of his wholesale transplanting of the crime scene to the opposite end of the road, that's true. However, as part of his testimony, Constable Beats has made an extremely enlightening statement on that point. But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. In other words, the victim had already picked the book up of her own volition. And clearly, that must have been before she suffered the knife wound. Well, I should say so. After being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she had been doing much of anything. So the question becomes, why did the victim have that book in her hand? By jingo! I think I'm beginning to see what may have happened now. Oh, dearie me. Is somebody gonna go to jail for the crime zone? We know that the book fell from the top floor of the garage and household onto the pavement below, at precisely the moment that the victim was walking past. Yes, at exactly that moment, the young woman was walking along the street in the light fog, when all of a sudden, the book fell right in front of her. The big guy threw? Yes, Mr. Garrett. And what did you think the woman did? What would you do if you were walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you in the pavement? Well, I really can't imagine it, but I suppose she might have reached down and picked the book up. Yes, that's exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked up the book. Oh heavens! I hate this. I'm mad. I'm actually really mad. I'm not mad at you, Ash. I'm just mad at how stupid this all is. And when the woman reached down to pick up the fallen book up, you were right too, Sidetrix. Credit to both Ash and Sidetrix. You guys. Like I said, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at this case. This is so fucking stupid. This is the stupidest fucking shit. Oh, Ace Attorney. And when the woman reached down to pick up the fallen book up, what position would her back have been in? That's right, facing the sky, completely and utterly defenseless. And then, in the very next moment, while the woman was still bent over picking up the book, the next object fell from the room above, a jackknife, straight into the middle of her back. And at that same time, walking by chance directly behind Mrs. Green was the defendant, Mr. Soseski Natsume. What? I never! It appeared to Mr. Natsume that the woman simply collapsed on the floor. In the dark and the fog, he didn't see the knife falling on her from above. Ah! And from the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her apparent attacker. So there never was a real culprit to run from the scene in the first place. No, there's nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated into an unfortunate accident. And thankfully she's alive. At least the woman's alive, so it's not completely senseless. And that is the real truth behind the case. This is so stupid. This is so fucking stupid. I hate every minute. Well, Mr. Scarredin?
time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wondered if perhaps it might have been something like that.
And yet you didn't say anything.
There won't be.
Poor Mrs. Scaredham. Am I supposed to feel sorry for that bitch? Because I don't.
Of course, I never meant for anything of the sort to happen, but it was all my fault, wasn't it?
Yes, it actually is.
I take full responsibility.
Well,
I let my anger get the better of me. I threw that book, and I threw the knife as well. John, dear. It's alright, I know.
it's not.
I'm ever so sorry. Truly. I'm sorry!
I guess we got our Danganronpa breakdown? Question mark, question mark, question mark? Lord Van Seeks. What news of Mrs. Garden?
She's been taken to the infirmary. It would appear that today's events have left her in an especially flustered state. However, I believe she will recover in due course. There is no cause for concern.
Yes, unbeknownst to themselves, the cause what could easily have been a terrible tragedy. They shall have to prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions. At least, yeah. That's all I'm gonna say is yeah.
There is some good news, however, my lord. I have just had word from the hospital where the victim is being treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes she will regain consciousness soon.
Like I said, at least she's not dead. Like, that would have been even worse, I think. It's strange. We've been talking about the victim all this time, but we've never once met her. How wonderful! The woman is out of danger, it seems. Yes, that is good news. So, Mrs. Soseski Natsume.
Yes.
On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take this opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. I beg your pardon. You really were about to throw this man in jail. Not only that, you fucking tortured him. You didn't give him a proper interrogation. Not even a proper translator. Which, again, I have stated before and multiple times that this has happened, and it keeps happening. And it's not even just in a certain country. It's in multiple countries. This shit happens, and it shouldn't happen, and it's an injustice. You want to talk about justice? You want to talk about begging your part? Oh, I'm going off right now. Because no, hell no, no, fuck this game, no. I'm mad. I'm actually mad. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study our great British culture, and have been repaid with immeasurable unkindness. Okay, we'll call it unkindness, whatever, Aji. Please accept our heartfelt apologies. No, it is me who should be begging your... Are we doing this? We're doing this. Yeah, right? Just say no. It is me who should be begging your pardon. Yeah, it's not his fault. He done literally nothing wrong. He's literally done, like, if there is someone in this game who has not done anything wrong, besides our King Kazuma, may he rest in peace, Sosuke did nothing wrong. I am begging you, gang. He is like one of the more innocent people in this game right now. What? Oh no, Mr. Natsume. That evening, when the young woman just collapsed on the pavement before my eyes, I jumped to the wrong conclusions again, in my confusion. What conclusion, sir? I was sure that the woman was dead. I mean, that is a fair assessment to make, considering what just happened. Thank God that the woman was good. Thank God, that somebody was there on time. But that wasn't your fault. That was nobody's fault. Well, it was the wife mainly. But it is not your fault, Soseki. Yes, Constable Beat said the same thing, didn't he? He thought she had been killed too. I suppose she must have looked completely lifeless. But that's another thing too. It's like very bloodless. Like that's a very bloodless stabbing. A stabbing, even like that, you're still gonna find some blood. It's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain now, but I still can't get used to life here. I can't relax. I'm sure there are evil spirits looking in the fog, like they're haunting me. Poor Soseki-san. His imagination really has gotten the better of him. Yes, poor man. He probably read too much of Dorian Gray. The yassification of Dorian Gray. So what had happened? Thought the love of the young woman, the compressed gif of Dorian Gray. Yeah, they're called white people. You're not wrong. I thought the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. I should have never dropped my books like that and run away. I should have called for help, for a doctor, for the police. But to be fair, they would have still found reason to arrest you. So, to be fair, the doctor thing, yes. Maybe not the cop, but the doctor, yes, I do agree with that. It's all for the Empire's sake. I hate this. Instead, I've managed to create a rift in the relationship of trust between our two empires. And for that, I am truly sorry. You didn't do anything wrong. You really didn't do anything wrong, sir. One could indeed say that some sort of mischievous spirit has been at work here, I think. One that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. We were befooled by this spirit and led to false conclusions. But thanks to Lord Van Sings and our young lawyer here from the east, that chain has now been broken and the spirit exorcised. Haha, spirit exercise. Remember when spirits were being exercised in court, chat? I herely commend you both. Oh! Nothing bad better happen to Soseki after this. I'm tired. Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Yes, my lord. In concluding this trial, I must ask one last time for your decisions regarding the defense's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to the court? As foreman of this jury, I can assure you we've reached a fair and just conclusion. I do declare the truth can be extremely cruel at times. Well, I didn't suspect the woman next to me, that's for sure. Sitting here for the old bee while she's out of action, but I know what her decision would be. Does this mean I'll finally be able to get out of here and start work? Well, it's about time. I say, I'll have a cork of a story to tell the grandchildren when I get home, won't I? If you survive the trek back. Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I hereby demand your final decisions. Mr. Foreman.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
We did it, chat. We got him off. Holy shit, this was one hell of a case. Very well, Mr. Soseki Natsume. I hereby pronounce you not guilty. Yay! Confetti in the courtroom and fireworks. God damn, do we deserve those fireworks after that stupid ass shit? And finally, Mr. Natsume. Oh, yes, Lord Sir. You are now a free man once more. It is my hope that you will continue to further your education in British culture. And may you never again be brought before me. Oh, yes, sir. Of course. On my life, I swear I'll never set foot in the courtroom again. I'm transported to tears. Transported to tears. Thank you, consuls. Court is adjourned. We did it, chat. Confetti in the courtroom. Nothing bad better happens to them. I'll honestly be really mad. Oh, Locum. Wait, you mean me? Of course! Is there another Locum here? Is there even one? He's gonna get gilded. Don't say that, Ash! Compared to the original Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, your name has become rather short, hasn't it? What's wrong with using my actual name? Oh, at last! I'm free! I'm free! Joyful, joyous, jubilant, jubilation! Heady, hearty, happiness, hurrah! Oh, I am pleased. Mr. Natsume is delighted. Would it be so hard to just say that then? Locum, you did it! You saved me from the break! Well, what happened to the poor woman was in no way your fault after all. I'm just glad everyone can see that now. No, no, no! Not that! Lovely, loyal, Locum lawyer! Yes? I mean, as I said before, I have just never got used to life here in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners. I see towering brick buildings. And from higher windows, I see them looking down on me, laughing. Look at that little hunchback. I feel that. But once you get used to it, it's like, whatever. But then again, I'm used to moving around. Oh dear. I'm sure it's all in your head, Mr. Natsume. But today, you local lawyer gave my gloom the boot. You stood firm behind that barnacle bench before all those babbling British. You battled to the bitter end, laying bare the baffling truth. And when I beheld the blinding fireworks among the beams of the Bailey's roof, I bellowed, "Behold the best barrister ever poured!" Well, that's very flattering, and we're very pleased for you. This has given me a wonderful anecdote to recount to my old friends back in Japan. An anecdote? Is that what's become of all my hard work? Ah, there you are, my dear fellows. There he is. There's our fucking idiot. At least he's hot. I apologize for keeping you waiting. I rose late this morning. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, what a pleasure to see you. I see I am here not a moment too soon. A disaster has been averted, I'm glad to say. I know, right? Oh! The trial shall begin presently, Mr. Naruhodo, and I wish you the very best of luck. Did he not know that we finished? We just finished. It just finished. What? No! That my haste was in vain? It's you! Herlock Sholmes! Oh, have you met, sir? This is Mr. Natsume, the man you had arrested, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, I see. I failed to recognize you at first. All previous encounters have taken place in the blue, either of your bleak lodgings or that prison cell. I simply couldn't place that curious face in the light. Charming. Yeah, he's kind of a dick. This is all your fault. Herlock Sholmes.
You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm gonna give you a piece of my mind. My apologies, sir, but I assure you, I have placed you now. You're the fellow who abandoned that poor young lady and ran off, are you not? Had she been taken to the hospital more urgently, I feel perhaps she would have regained consciousness by now. Oh! But it was unavoidable, I'm sure. We are but human after all. Anyone would have been shaken by such an experience. I do feel very badly about how I behaved. Well, never mind. Now then, what was it you wanted to say to me, sir? Nothing. Priceless! Oh, I am sorry, really, but... that was quite priceless. God, this man is ridiculous. He's hot. Holy shit. Poor Soseki-san. Still, on the bright side, you've had an extremely entertaining experience without pitting a pity. And it would seem you were not even found guilty. But there is no bright side. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Natsume? Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits and now by the Reaper! Ah, that's right. Fair enough, that's fair. Lord Van Seeks. I haven't forgotten, you know, what facing that man in court means. Even if you're not found guilty, you're still doomed! It will be alright, Mr. Natsume. If the Reaper appears trying to make trouble, I will protect you. Hi-ya! With a perfectly executed Susato takedown. Much as I like being turned on my head, a bit of a warning might be nice next time, Miss Susato. So, Mr. Natsume, what do you intend to do now? You mentioned something about recounting your experiences to your friends back in Japan? Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon. Oh! It has already been a year since I arrived here, Great Britain. I visited universities, libraries, bookshops. I've been honored with the tutelage of professors. I've learned so much about the wealth of literature here and the city it has shaped. I've come to realize that it is my calling to stay home and to tell my fellow countrymen about it. That's very touching, Mr. Natsume. Or, and perhaps that's veiled terms, you wish to withdraw halfway along the road to escape the terror of the Reaper's curse? That's not it at all! The more I learn of literature, the more this strange feeling claws at my insides. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen a work of my own. Oh. It sounds to me that he's just been inspired. Oh, I see. A work of literature by Soseki-san. Could be an interesting read. And what about Mr. Sato and yourself, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry, what about us? Will you return to Japan alongside your mustached compatriot? Why would we? A week has not yet passed since we arrived in London. And not only now does it feel that we finally found our feet. And you are accommodated in the hotel at present, are you not? That's right, but we need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us. I've calculated we can only afford another 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted. Well then, you can take my lodgings. Oh, the windowless room? Ah, but what it lacks in windows, it's more than makes up of the floor, the ceiling, and walls. I mean, points, I guess? Great. And of course, I'd be happy to leave behind the accursed evil spirit. Oh my, an evil spirit? Oh yes. It tries to suffocate you while you sleep. It's an infallible wake-up call. Does he mean the cat? The cat that we saw before? Well, think about it if that's alright. Perhaps I can offer a more welcome alternative. We're gonna live with him, aren't we? Would you consider taking lodgings with me? Hell fucking yeah! Really? Well, a vacancy has conveniently presented itself. Though it is up in the attic, I might have. Are you sure it isn't just a storage loft? I spoke with the landlady this very morning on a matter of price, and Iris is cleaning the room as we speak. You must come at once. I presume you have no luggage to speak of? Oh, this is simply wonderful! What an honor to be invited to taking lodgings in the great detective's office's attic! Oh, Susato. To be a teenage girl again. I'm too overcome for words! So, suggesting we look elsewhere is out then. Then it's settled. Iris will prepare a welcome dinner this evening. And you must come too, Mr. Natsume. I insist. I don't know what to say, but thank you. Yes, and yes. Wonderful. Then I'll go and complete the paperwork for your formal release, Master Natsume. It shan't take long. Somebody's happy. Well, whatever. Let the girl live. Local. I knew that you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London. Likewise, Mr. Natsume. It's been a privilege meeting you too. It's a shame that we're going to have to say goodbye so soon. Well, I've come to realize that I belong in Japan. But, Loku, we'll meet again one day. Yes, I'm sure. And hopefully by then, I'll be a successful lawyer. Hopefully by then, I'll be a successful author. Same, King. Same. Well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Shall we go, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, Mr. Sho. I little doubt Mr. Natsume will be released in time for dinner this evening. And so, with Soseki-san's innocence successfully established, we rode with Mr. Shoves to what was to become our new home, 221B Baker Street. Because of course, it has to be Baker Street. We did it, chat. We finished. Oh, there's more. This is actually kind of roomy up there. Like, I don't know. I thought it was going to be a lot smaller, but it's not. It's actually not bad. Huh. Interesting. So this is to be our new office. Yes. Our office? I rather like the sound of that. Me too. It's simply wonderful, isn't it? I hope you can see this, Kazuma. It's only a small step, but I like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now. So, my dear fellows, do you like the place? God, he's so fucking hot. Mr. Shobes. Yes, thank you so much. It's a delightful room, Mr. Shobes. I simply adore it. Good. I'm pleased to hear it. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you. I hope everyone's hungry. It's nearly time for dinner. We'll eat as soon as Mr. Natsume arrives. We have a lot to celebrate. I swear, he dies. Iris, you must let me help you. All right then, Susie. You can be in charge of the salad. Splendid. Iris, you stop making it to dinner. So, Mr. Naruhodo, how does it feel to have your own office in the capital? It's very exciting, actually. I can't help but wonder what adventures await us. Those were precisely my sentiments when I first established my office at these premises. Until I discovered the dark truth of the city of London, that is. Wait, how old is Sholmes again? I must know. God, he's so fucking hot. He's actually my age. Okay, I'm okay. I just had to bite my fist for a second. Sorry. London is a glorious place, full of wonder, opportunity, prosperity, and mirth. But the brightest of lights cast the darkest of shadows. Shadows? What do you mean? Well, I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies behind London's facade already. So once again, Mr. Naruhodo, welcome to London. What do you mean by that? Of course, at the time, I had no idea of the significance of those words Mr. Sholmes so casually spoke. If something happens to Susato, I'm unaliving myself. But it wasn't long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it. See, old chap, it was me committing those crimes. No, but that would be even hotter. God damn. We did it. We did it. Oh, thank fucking Christ, we did it. So, I just want to say thank you to everyone who showed up tonight. I'm just gonna go ahead and call it a stream. It's, oh, goddamn, it's been like 3.5 hours. Corrupt detective is something you, right? I'm biting my fist just thinking about it. So this is the new game. I think this is the last game, or the last case, I should say, of this one. And I think I'm actually gonna take a break from the Great Ace Attorney because I have a lot of thoughts. Not a lot of it is positive, but I just want to take a break from this game and play something else. What will that be? We will find out after the last trial of episode 5, whatever the fuck that will be. So thank you again for joining me. Feel free to follow, feel free to sub, feel free to vibe next time on my stream. I love you guys so very much. Bye.